up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Today's episode is going to be about how to survive long flights. I went to Bath & Body Works and I was like, they must know something that I don't know. I know spring break is coming, but they literally have a whole line of beauty products like named Waikiki, Bahamas, Bali, and I noticed like a lot of people actually are traveling more, and congratulations to all of you that are going somewhere and exploring and really making the most of your life, making those memories count. So today's video is going to be how to survive long flights, because I can tell you, if you're not well prepared, they can be a little bit miserable. And for those of you who maybe have a little bit of anxiety about flying, this would help you guys out too. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to tell you guys is when you get on the plane, make yourself comfortable. A lot of times flight attendants, and they probably, you know, don't really mean to necessarily rush you that much, but they do have, you know, certain times of we got to board in this amount of time, we got to get the plane taken off by this time. But it is important, if you are on a long flight, that you make yourself comfortable. So whatever you have in your carry-on, if you need to get your headphones out, a book or something that you wanted to read, any kind of chargers, whatever, do that. Make yourself comfortable, because again, this is going to be a long haul. And the last thing that you want to do, which is something that I'm guilty of because I always feel kind of rushed, is that I'll just throw my bag underneath. But truth is, you're gonna probably want that leg room because of reason number 2. And reason number 2 is to go ahead and bring your fuzzy socks. What happened to me on an 8-hour flight was that I had on some like regular sneakers, and my feet literally went numb in these shoes. I had my bag that was in the under carry-on spot, under the seat carry-on spot, and I also had my feet cramped in there, and they were in shoes. Like, my feet just went numb. So my advice is that you do go ahead, like I said before, put your carry-on up top if you can, and then also bring some fuzzy socks or some warm socks with you so that you can wiggle your toes and really stretch out. The last thing you want to do is be cramped up on an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour flight. That is going to literally cause you misery. So make yourself comfortable, bring fuzzy socks. So let's move on to number 3. Third thing that you want to do is bring your own entertainment. Obviously, most planes at this point have different movies, TV shows. Some of them even have complimentary Wi-Fi. If you want to go ahead and upgrade it, then go ahead and upgrade it, you know, that type of thing. But basically, bring the entertainment that you want. Be sure that you download, you know, whatever new songs or videos that you want to watch from the cloud so that you can watch it in the air, especially because most of the plane's Wi-Fi is not going to be for streaming. And if it is, then you have to pay for it. So if you want to just stick with the basic, just make sure that you go ahead and prep beforehand and that you're good to go. I remember when I had my iPhone and I had just downloaded all this music, made a whole airplane playlist and everything, and majority of that stuff went to the cloud. This is before we had the good gigabytes, you know, and half of it went up to the cloud, and I was just stuck with like a song or two. I was so upset because I worked hard on that playlist, so I really wanted to listen to my music and I couldn't. So just make sure that when you bring your entertainment, it's prepped, it's ready to go. And also, don't forget to charge ahead of time. Charge ahead of time, you guys, so that you don't have to plug in. And you know, now with iPhone, unless you have a splitter, it's either you're listening or you're charging. So just plan ahead for that one. And let's move on to number 4. 4 is going to be to bring your own water bottle. Once you guys are up in the air and set and sail, maybe the flight attendants have started service or are in between service, that would be a great time for you to go ahead and ask them if they could fill up your water bottle for you. You do want to stay hydrated. Being up in the air like that, that's why people have the Evian spray. It dries out your skin, it dries you out, and it can also cause you jet lag by the time you're like at this point dehydrated. So just make sure that you stay hydrated as much as possible. Yes, it's probably going to make you go to the restroom, but there's a reason why you should be going to the restroom anyway. So we'll get to that in number 5. So number 5 would be to go ahead and make frequent stops to the restroom. Personally, I don't really feel comfortable just kind of walking up and down the aisles, you know, and then the way the aisles are, it's very like tight, you know. So you're just walking up and down the aisle. Some people are cool with that. If that's you, then go ahead. I make trips to the restroom, and while I'm in the restroom, that's where I do my stretching. Or if I drank a ton of water, then I probably have to use the restroom. But that's where I do my stretching, and I'm down and I'm up, and I'm, you know, doing my number here and there, and then I go back to my seat and I feel a little bit better. So one of the things that you also want to do is to make sure that you wear warm clothes. When you're up in the air, it gets to the negatives in Fahrenheit, which is freezing, obviously. But basically, one of the things that I struggled with is in the airport, you know, it's a lot of organized chaos going on, getting through the TSA lines and all that kind of stuff. But you wear, you know, short clothes or whatever to get through there, you're fine. But then when you get on the plane, you're freezing. And if I had to pick, I'd rather be sweating for probably like 20-30 minutes or whatever versus freezing for 8, 9, 10, 11 hours. So just make sure that you bring some warm clothes with you, whether it be a blanket, scarf, some gloves, some extra thick fuzzy socks instead of just like your socks. Whatever you need to bring. Number 7 is don't be afraid of making purchases while you are on your flight. I know when me and my friend Bridget went to Hawaii, we thought we were gonna get a little bit more to eat than what we did. We did get a meal, but it was like really small. We were on that flight for 8 hours. It's just that there's certain rules with a domestic flight versus an international flight. An international flight that could be 8 hours to, I don't know, Europe somewhere. It could be where you get unlimited wine, you get this, you get that, you get blah 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 blah. But then if you're going, say like Hawaii, which is still a part of the United States, but like way down there, way over there, not so much, you know. You pretty much get a meal for it being over, I think there's a 4 or 5 hour limit or something like that, and then nothing really after that because it's not considered an international flight. So don't be afraid of making purchases. If you find yourself a little snacky or a little hungry, maybe you want to buy a box or whatever, do it. If you feel like you want to, you know, maybe have a little lubrication or something while you're on the plane, do it. If you want better Wi-Fi, do it. I mean, do what you have to do to make yourself comfortable. And if that means making a couple extra purchases, don't be shy about it. You're going to be on the plane for a long time, and the goal is to make yourself as comfortable as possible. So don't be afraid of making purchases. Number 8, which I always tell you guys, is to sleep according to where your destination is. This can be a little bit difficult, but if it's something that you can't do and you know for a fact that you can't sleep on a plane or whatever type of situation you may have, then at least allow yourself one rest day when you get to your destination. Personally, I try my best to sleep according to, or I'll just load up on coffee so I can keep going. So just make sure that you are trying to adapt to the sleep patterns that are wherever your destination is, going and coming, whichever way. And if you're having trouble sleeping, or if you are having a hard time in the plane, people don't really recommend that you drink alcohol because they say that it dehydrates you or it doesn't make you feel good. Look, if this is what you need and you are of age and you don't have a problem with alcohol, get you one good glass of wine. I promise it'll do you good. You'll be like in nap time in no time. So don't be shy of asking for your glass of wine or whatever it is you need, your little cocktail. Just one, just it, just one. The best sleep ever, I promise, okay? Okay. Number 9, right before you land, about an hour or so before, one of the things that really helps me is to get ready for landing, literally. So I would probably have a toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, maybe a moisturizer of some sort for my face, and just go to the bathroom, hook yourself up, brush your chops, you know, especially if you've been sleeping real good. Maybe put some moisturizer on your face just in case it got a little dry from being up in the air, and really just get yourself together. Some people even go as far as bringing a whole change of clothes. I don't mind doing this in an airplane restroom, but some people prefer to wait until they get off the plane and get at the airport to then go ahead and start getting ready and just go straight to wherever it is that they're going. It's totally up to you and whatever it is that you have planned, but just kind of taking those extra couple steps to get ready before landing actually does help me quite a bit. I feel refreshed. I don't feel like that feeling you get after you've sat in a car for about 10 hours and you just are kind of groggy and your knees are all locked up on you, and you know, that type of thing. You've been sleeping, you got a mess kind of around you. It just freshen up real quick, get ready for landing, and I promise it'll make you feel so much better. Now let's move on to number 10. And last but not least, number 10, if you can afford a first class flight, go for it. I've watched a ton of YouTube videos at this point of what first class is all about. You guys know that this channel is more about being on a budget and kind of just finding the cheapest flights possible. I am going to start trying to do more videos about that. Anyway, let me not get sidetracked. But if you can get first class, this is gonna knock out everything. You don't have to do all this prep work. You pretty much get an amenity kit, you get a pillow, you get an extra blanket, you get unlimited alcohol if you want, you get meals and, you know, better meals than what people in economy are getting. You get everything that you could possibly need. So, and it's the best way to fly. I mean, some people have the first class like cubicle things where you literally can lay into a bed. Some people have it where you just have like this massive amount of leg room. You get the over-the-ear headphones instead of the earbuds. So if you can afford first class, just do that. I mean, it's worth it, I think, if you're gonna be traveling for a long time. And if traveling for a long time on a plane bothers you, then that's something that I would say go ahead and splurge on. But even when I talk to people about different trips and they come to me and they ask me questions about what it is that they should and should not splurge on, it depends on you and what makes you feel good. So if you're not cool with a 2-star hotel, maybe splurge on the hotel and go back on the plane. So it's just up to you, and just kind of make it, you know, what you need to be. But before I ramble on too much, this brings me to the end of the video. Those are my 10 tips for surviving a long flight. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye, y'all.